guy, but he said he'd like to give T1 a shot and thinks he can hang there. So, I mean, right now he's close to RC and T Money, who are going to be T1 guys. So, you know, if he can mix it up with those guys, really his time's not that far off. I mean, he's a couple tenths down on a top 10, so should be in good shape. Should be good. I mean, he's ahead of a few guys that have been here for the whole season, so got something to build on there for sure. It's always good to see someone eager as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Willing to take a bite at T1, even though he probably could have gone to T2 and fought for wins. I'd imagine anybody down at the bottom of T1 here could probably go to T2 and fight for some wins. So
yeah, I think so.
It is a tough. When you get a new guy who's kind of like right on the fringe of both, it's kind of hard to decide where they want to go. I kind of just leave it up to them. I'm like, you can probably fight for points in T1 or fight for wins in T2. So, like, what would you rather do?
So Moglis here might put himself into P3 or 4.
There you go.
P2.
By 8 thousandths. Really good lap time from Zamagas there. I was on board with him for that whole lap, so it was well picked up by you there to bring it up right at the end of his lap. RC on a hot lap now. He needs a big improvement here, so try with RC, see what he can do. Hasn't been practicing much, probably busy chasing those kiddos around.
Yeah, they must be walking now, right? Wasn't it a couple of years ago that he had a baby?
Yeah, I think so. I imagine. I know I've seen a picture of him from a few years back with a little youngling, so he's probably at that age where he's running amok now. Maybe not at 2 in the morning in Northern Ireland, but
yeah, maybe. Yeah, right.
Probably eats up most of his day where he doesn't have time to sit down and practice.
Hopefully not now. And
okay, good
slight
improvement. Yeah, I mean the time's there. It's really just the bad position he's in. P10's not great, but you know, a couple tenths and all of a sudden he jumps up the board 4 spots, right? So.
Yep. All right. Not Zem. Janet is just rounding the last corner here to start a hot lap. Currently in 4th. Only. How do you say that? 132 thousandths of a second, or yeah. How do you say that?
The difference between Jin and who?
Janet's at 0.132 behind. That's what, 132 thousandths of a second?
I would say like a tenth and a half is what I would call that.
Okay.
About a tenth and a half down. Yeah.
Much easier to say too.
Just rounding up. Yeah, round up a little bit. If it was like 102, then I would just say a tenth, right?
Yep. So let's see. How's he? Oh, I missed this first split time.
So did I. A big wobble there coming out of the chicane, though.
Didn't invalidate.
A little bit more pace to. No, he stayed on the track, but definitely needed a split second there before he stood on the pedal. So
wow,
cost him a bit.
Barely came off. Oh wow, yeah, he's got to be disappointed.
So I don't think he will improve. That's probably good news for Zem, unless he's got some time left in this final few corners.
Well, wasn't it last week that he made up an incredible amount of time in the 3rd sector?
And there's spin and win, I think, oh no, was it Asylum just crossed the line?
No, Janet.
Janet doesn't improve. The spin and win looking like he's on for pole. He's out of fuel or is just driving really slow? Gotta be careful here. Who else do we got? Red Bull coming around. That's Carson. See what he can do. He's been really competitive this season. Just hasn't strung together the good results. See if he can do something here. And it's up 15-8. Man, that is so marginally close to jumping 4 positions. That has to be infuriating. He could have been up in P3 if he just got 2 hundredths out of that. Adri up to P5. So he does get that couple extra hundredths. Spot Up Triple's coming around. See if he can do. Adri and Spot Up a pretty solid team for the Haas. They've been putting some good races together, so see if they can score some more points tonight. A lot of triples coming around. Good lap from Spot Up. Not enough to improve, though. And that looks like that's it for quali. So Spin and Win takes his, I think that's his maiden pole here. I'm not 100% sure, but That might be his first pole position in the tier, and Asylum P2. Suddenly McLaren looking very strong. That was a strong team spinning with an Asylum.
Yeah.
Just kind of the way things fell. Just sort of plugging and playing driver. I guess spinning when we didn't really know about when Asylum picked him at the start of the season, so probably shouldn't have let those two be teammates, but we didn't really know. So yeah, spin and win on pole. Asylum second. Zamaglas will take third. Jeanette will take fourth. Adri fifth. Carson sixth. Sniper seventh. Spot up eighth. Sam ninth. RC 10th. 11th for Air. Nick. T-Money 12th. Jetju 13th. 14th for Villeneuve, and Gord is 15th. Gord disqualified, so he'll start at the back. Blocking the pit lane, I believe I read. So, I wonder if he was...
Jeez.
Did he lose the car, or did he just stop to let someone go into turn one, maybe?
Ooh. A little cloudy.
Does look a little cloudy. Did your wife just get home, or your dog's barking?
They're not my dogs.
Really?
I think the wife and kids' dogs are upstairs, so 2 floors up.
Huh. I swear I heard a dog bark, like very, very faintly.
It's possible, but I don't hear them at all. I think they went upstairs.
No, it was like the quiet, like it's mainly because there's no other noise right now. I just thought I heard a dog bark. And I always remember it was like, usually like right after we started, like usually like 10 minutes after we started our stream, your wife would always come home and dogs would start going nuts.
They're such loving dogs, though. So yeah,
of course.
I couldn't hurt them if I had to.
No, I'm not suggesting that you hurt your dogs
shut
for
up.
barking. Yeah, for barking during the stream. Shut up, or GP. Get a hold of those fucking mutts. What are you doing?
That's it. Mute your mic, GP. Mute your mic.
Mucking up our stream with their barking. No, I don't care.
Yeah, it's not quite
ASMR cat purring every week on.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's not as disturbing. That is not disturbing. Your cat purring is a wonderful sound.
Yeah, intrusive though. It's like, oh, there's a cat all of a sudden.
Well, Bigga, is that you purring?
Yeah.
I mean, you can say it's your cat, but we can't really be sure.
If we ever get a full grid, I might be purring.
We haven't had a full grid in quite a while, unfortunately. But the turnout this year has been better than it was last year to this point.
Absolutely. We're not stringing together 12 car races consistently. We've had 15 or more every week, I think.
I think so too.
So actually, this isn't a bad showing it's not a bad showing for a holiday. Like I said, I can't complain too much, but.
Well, this is pretty cool to see 2 McLarens starting the race up front.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting. Spin and win an Asylum. I mean, they in the chat right now. He said, "Let's bring it home 1-2." I don't know if Asylum wants to be the 1 or the 2, but I think Spin and win's probably. Spin and win's quick enough to win the race if he gets some help from his teammate. But if Asylum gets in the way there, I mean, let's give Zem some credit here. Starting P3, man, that's got to be his best start in multiple seasons. Like, I can't remember last time I saw Zamagos start up this high. That's really good for him. Jinnit too at P4. He's in perfect position to do some damage.
Yeah, that's trouble.
Hadrian P5, who deserved a better result last week. I think he was taken out, kind of a fluky thing. Like, we've had a couple. Same with Carson. Really, Carson's been sort of one of those guys too. He gets tangled up in crap and deserves better every week. And it keeps happening to certain guys. It seems it's like a magnet for incidents or something.
Mm. Yeah, this corner though is one of the more forgiving first corners that we have on the
It is very
schedule.
wide, and there's a lot of runoff. If you do end up in a
Yeah.
pickle, you can kind of get out of it. Evasive action actually usually can keep you in the race, whereas sometimes evasive action into turn one, like say Japan, you end up out of the race. Yeah, mostly everybody on the mediums. Gord starting on the softs at the back. Nick is starting on the hards, which I don't mind as a strategy, honestly, from where he is. P11, it's a pretty good shout. But let's get the grid reformed. That is the back of the field parking up right now. Gord about to take his final spot, and we are ready to go racing in Hungary for round 6 of Tier 1. It's Season 10 of Zenith Online Racing. Let's get this thing fired up.
Interesting to note real quick, Gordsaw starting in the last place with the softs. Everybody else on mediums with airlift.
Found that interesting. I was thinking maybe a safety car plan there. He's hoping for a safety car. I don't know what just happened.
I don't either. That was weird. Oh, great. Are we going to have to reset the lobby?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, man. Oh. What the heck? Aye.
I think it's a redo because it didn't pick up Gord for some reason.
Yeah, well, let's see. I could take a picture of the grid. Yeah, maybe that'll help.
As soon as people drop out, it always starts working. It's such a stupid game. Such a stupid game. Anyway, GP, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the GP this past weekend? It was pretty interesting.
Oh, great. About what? I didn't hear that part.
I was saying, you want to talk about the GP from this past weekend? It was very, very interesting.
I didn't see it, so I can't. No, I was camping, and quite frankly, I couldn't get the damn channel.
Oh, so you're not going to watch it, or?
I hope to on a replay.
Would you rather not know then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather not know.
All right. If you could, I can probably. I think I can give you my F1 TV. Does that work in the U.S.? I could probably give you my F1 TV if you wanted to watch it on there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's like you'd have to use a laptop or whatever, but
that's fine.
Yeah, basically you just log in and I don't know if you've ever used that app, but basically like on the main page there'll be like a screenshot of whatever video they're suggesting you watch. Probably be like Racing 30 or something like that. And if you just like, there's little arrows on either side of it, and you just tab backward until you see like 2023 Italian Grand Prix or something like that. And then click on it and just click watch from start or whatever it should be.
Well, it would be the Hungary Grand Prix, correct?
No, it was Monza.
Oh, yeah. I'm mixing up reality and this game.
Yes.
Which I do oftentimes.
Our calendar for this year, for the actual game, is it's actually randomized, so it's not going to overlap with the real life calendar at any point. I might accidentally, but it wasn't intentional. Did you need an invite back to the lobby, or? I got one, but I didn't see the notification, so.
I'm gonna see right now if I got one. I just got. I got yours. So, are you saying that Gord Sauce joined late? That might have affected the lobby? No. Are other games like this, other online games? I mean, this is the only game I play, so I have no experience with other games to compare this to. But this game, like I was saying in the the chat, it's like every freaking time I turn the game on, there's an update. Just ridiculous. Why
Yeah, I
can't
know. It's
they spend a year fucking putting the damn thing together, and then they spend another year sending patches out?
yeah, and that's pretty much every modern game now.
They got to do something about this frickin' lobby music. I could tell you that.
Yeah, it's brutal. I just gotta try and get these guys back in here.
Are these real, like, commercial songs, or are these songs made up for this game?
The like theme music, or like
Yeah,
is it
like
actual like
what I'm
songs
what I'm hearing right now
on the stream, or yeah?
in the lobby. I mean, for me, I'm hearing some background music here.
Yeah, like orchestra music or something.
No, there's actually singing a little.
Oh, well, that's not really singing. That's like vocalizing. Like the lady singing. It's like ah.
Well, there were words.
Oh, okay. Well, there is like actual like music in the. Are we going? I think we're going. You just spectate?
I'm spectating.
All right, let's go.
Because I wonder if guys are going to change their tire strategy, having seen or having the ability to be able to look back and see what everybody else was starting on.
All right.
Here we go.
Yeah, we should be able to get things rolling here. They're wondering about turning the formation lap off. I honestly haven't seen an issue with it all season since they've like fixed it. But the only thing I was thinking was like it was probably because Gord got disqualified from the qualifying, and then he was the one that wasn't like on the grid properly, like he was like desynced or something, right? So I'm wondering if that had something to do with it. I've never noticed in the past that anyone who gets DSQ from qualifying doesn't like start the race properly, but
yeah, that's not something that we've had to complain about. I mean, after they fixed it, it seems like everything was fine with the formation lap. Both
yeah,
tier 1,
exactly.
tier 2, there was I didn't recognize any issues. But of course, these things come out of nowhere, so.
Well, the weather looks nicer anyway.
Oh. Wow, how fortunate.
Yeah, here's the thing, like if it was starting overcast and then clear the rest of the race, like it's kind of hard to like, you can't really program like dynamic weather properly, right? So I don't know. I don't really care.
Oh no.
Whatever it looked like it was supposed to be from quali, which was probably like overcast to start and then dry or something like that. That's fine with me. As much as I would prefer the chaos, I also like to see these guys racing heads up without any crap to.
For sure. I mean, as a driver, I want clear weather throughout, unless I feel confident that rain will help my strategy. Yeah. Yeah, as somebody watching these races, I like the anxiety that it must create the drivers trying to figure out what their strategy should be, given that there's impending rain. Mm-hmm. Chaos, as you put it, and yes, there's a kind of strategic guessing that has to go into it, and all the different strategies that come about from it.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely adds some elements of random luck, I suppose, and things along those lines. But ideally, it's obviously situational, depending on things like this. But it's funny that it's like Jet Juice changed his mind about what tire to start on. Just gone to the toughs now. It's funny, you get that redo sometimes, and you like start questioning yourself. You're like, you know what, actually, I think I'm gonna do this instead.
Yeah, Gord Sauce did not change tires. Private did. Everybody else stayed on the same tire.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's try this again. I was ready for some racing. That took the wind right out of my sails. What are we drinking tonight, GP?
A little whiskey sour. Yourself?
Yeah. I'm finishing one of my ciders. I had a couple ciders tonight.
Yeah.
This one is a blackberry cider. It tastes like candy, which is dangerous.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Those kinds of drinks can only last so long. They're
sweet, like a one or two a night. Yeah, they're one or two a night. You can't drink them all night, right?
It'd be like trying to drink more than one glass of Riesling. Oh.
Yeah.
So sweet.
That'll be the next thing, though. After I finish the cider, we'll be on to the white wine for the rest of the night, and might have a couple, and then we'll call it a night. I got to work tomorrow. It's gonna be hot as shit tomorrow, and can't be going to work half hungover when the heat's like that. So, especially my job, I don't get any bloody relief.
You guys have AC in your trucks?
No, they're horrendous.
Yeah, doors are open
giant
though.
Saunas, the giant saunas, man. Like, I still got to go in the back to get stuff, and it's like 10 degrees hotter back there.
Oh.
Like, legitimately, someone put a thermometer in their truck, and they're like, yeah, whatever the temperature says, 10 degrees more in the back.
They should have some vents in the back that you can open up to let some air in there.
Some of them do, for sure. But anyway, let's get this thing
going. Here we go.
We're ready to go racing for real this time. 3, 4, 5 lights are on. And it's lights out in Hungary. We are racing. Looks like a good start for Asylum. He's off to a really good start.
Yeah.
And he's bringing a Ferrari with him, Jinnit. Into turn one, they're side by side. This could be 3 wide, perhaps. Someone going to take a lunge. No, everybody's smart. Everybody does everything nice and smooth, nothing clumsy. And yeah, looks like everybody's through. Looks like pretty good start for Spin and Win. Actually held on to that position. Asylum gave him some grief, but he kept the spot. We got a few drivers squabbling here for P4 and 5, trying to get themselves in position for this tricky corner. Cold tires. Anybody going to fly off the road? Somebody looked like they went deep there. And it's a risky corner to try and lean on the tires too much on the first lap. Here we got Red Bull side by side, Zem and Carson. Looks like, oh, someone's gone way deep. That's Zem. Oh, keep it on the road. There you go. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. That's a good recovery from Zem. He got away with that. Unfortunate start for him, though. He started P3 and they found him 14th. That's got to sting. I'm not sure what happened. I think maybe it was just the odd man out on the way into turn 1 there. He didn't really have like a good racing line, but yeah, Zem's got some work to do now. He knows he's got the pace though, so hopefully it'll keep him motivated. It's just so bloody hard to overtake here. Here we go. Lap 1 in the books. Spinnerman keeps the lead. Asylum's in second. Adri's having a look at Jinnit. And behind, we got Carson making a move on Sniper. Sniper got a really good start. He gained a few places there, but Carson has pipped him and got back in front. They are still wheel-to-wheel, though. This isn't a done deal yet. Now, Sniper with the inside line holds the place. And Carson with a little switchback underneath.
Oh! Whoa, Sniper really... Wow. Yeah, Sniper got really loose.
Yeah, I was watching Carson, so the broadcast camera kind of followed him. And I didn't really see... I saw Sniper disappear, but I didn't really see what happened. But obviously a good recovery. He's only lost 1 extra spot from that. It's not that bad. Definitely do some damage from there. Zem's just lost a bit of ground at the back there, trying to get the tires sorted, and Sniper with a huge wobble again. And that's the thing, man. You get these tires cooking early. Like, sometimes you really got to calm the car down, and lap 1 or 2 is not the lap... not the part of the race you want to have to be managing some tires. And there we go. Nick down the inside. Not there for him. Now the door is opened.
And there goes Curry. RC. Wow.
Yeah, just dives right down.
Just a little tap on the shoulder. Excuse me, coming through.
Yeah. Nick went for a move in a tricky spot, and he kind of left the door open for RC, and RC opportunistic dives on that opportunity and takes the place. Gord having a look now. Everybody doing fairly well here in the early stages. Looks like Zem has pit. I wonder if he is just going to get onto the hards and go to the end.
Oh no, DNF. Zem's out.
That's not great.
That sucks.
I'm not really sure why. It's pretty early in the race to be giving up. I understand the frustration, but yeah, disappointing. I mean, there's probably going to be a safety car at some point, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe something happened at home and he had to quit.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it. Probably more so frustration than anything, but I suppose it's better if he parks it and calls it a night if he's not feeling like he's into it, and he's probably not going to be the smoothest driver out there if he's frustrated or disappointed or whatever the reason, right? But understandable with given what he did the hard work in quali, he had a good start and then ends up losing a lot of ground there, so I can see why he'd be frustrated with that. But you know, if he was to pit and get on hards there and then just start eating into the group in front, when they pit, like, you know, maybe there's a safety car and they pit, and or maybe they pit and then you get a safety car and you can get off of your tires.
Right.
There's always possibilities, right? So, it's like, when it's lap 3, I don't really like to see guys give up on lap 3. I feel like even Zem probably would regret that decision, you know, 10 minutes from now, and he'd be like, oh man, I probably shouldn't race. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those like heat of the moment things where you're like, yeah, I'm done, don't care. And then, you know, probably, yeah, of course, that would happen. I mean, if there's no safety cars and you're just stuck in 14th, the Warriors can't make a move, then I could, you know, you probably look back and go, yeah, I'm glad I just parked the car, it was a waste of time, but Obviously, hindsight's going to be 2020, depending on how things pan out over the next half hour or so.
RC to the inside, a sniper gets by. Moves
A
up into
tasty little
P8.
battle forming at the front here. Asylum now has GRS, and he is right on his teammate's tail, and Jinnit is here for the party as well. I wonder if Spin and Win are maybe, and Asylum are going to try and work together, maybe try and keep Jinnit behind.
Well, they certainly should.
Big threat here. Yeah, they probably should, yeah.
I would assume that they're in a chat together, hopefully. That's really a benefit to having a teammate that's there with you. You can survey the track or certain situations, or work together in a situation like this.
I'm not sure. I mean, Spin and Win's, I don't know if he's been in a chat with anyone yet, but Asylum hasn't been here yet either, so they don't really have a rapport at this point in the season.
Probably
right?
not, yeah.
So the front of the field starting to pull away a little bit. Adri down in P4 is losing ground. But further down the field, if you look at Spot Up Triples, playing a bit of cork in the bottle here for about 6 cars who are now all within DRS range of one another, trying to get up to P7. So pretty much everyone in the field is in points contention at the moment, aside from T-Money and Villeneuve, who's Villeneuve reserving, so T-Money really the last running full-time driver. Not really sure why he's so far back. Maybe had an error. He's never really regained his form from the past when he dropped all the assists. Like, kudos to him for running. I don't think he has the racing line on either. So he's fully no assist, T-Money, but he's been struggling to get his pace back to a point where he can compete for points regularly. Yeah, he's had a couple moments I recall, but
yeah, this is not the T-Money that I used to race with. He used to be right up there all the time, and he's not finding that pace that he once had.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but he actually has eaten a lot of time at a Villeneuve there, so he must have just had a moment or something, or maybe actually Villeneuve's had a moment because he suddenly lost a bunch of time as well. Either way, T-Money, like, he's in a position where he can kind of just stay in the race, and we have a yellow, that is T-Money, I believe. It's a red car at the back. It is T-Money.
Yeah.
So, is this one of the tracks he hates? Wasn't there like a track that I was surprised he didn't like, and maybe it's this one? There we go. Jinnit lining up Spin and Win now. Spin and Win needs to fight like tooth and nail, desperately to try and keep Jinnit behind. He doesn't have DRS though to help him, so Jinnit is just going to sail right by. And that's going to bring Spin and Win just kind of dropping like a stone here. It's just like,
oh, Jinnit! A little loose coming out of turn 1 there.
Yeah, I was going to say, oh, Adri's had a moment. He's lost a ton of time. He's gone way back behind Carson now, and he's got a few cars attacking him. Sam suddenly on his tail, and so is RC. So now Adri, from Adri down, everybody's in competition for a P5. That's pretty spicy for the rest of the race. I was going to say though, Carson and Adri were catching Spin and Win, so Spin and Win's struggling to keep up with the front runners and pull away from that other pack just behind. But you know, if Jinnit can't get by Asylum and Spin and Win can hang on to the back of those two, he might be able to just break that little gap and kind of get away, because it's really just Carson back there now. And I imagine before too long Carson will be part of this as well. So this is good for Carson. Like we said, P4, he hasn't really strung together those great results as often as he deserves, and maybe trying to change that narrative here, because I believe he's been on the podium in the last couple races, if not 2 of the last 3 races. I feel like we've talked to him a fair bit lately. So looking at another potential podium here if we can close up on Spin and Win and make a move.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
RC passed Sam, so RC looking pretty racy here. Didn't look great in quali, but he's looking pretty fast in the race.
I don't know if something happened to Spin and Win. Maybe he... I don't know where he could have got damage. Oh no, and now he has a 3-second penalty.
Yeah. I'm just thinking it's more of a race pace thing. Like, maybe his setup is better for one lap and doesn't take care of the tires as well. Because when we are on lap 8 already, and if the tires are starting to degrade at a fair amount versus your competitors, you probably will start noticing it.
Well, looky here. We got Jinnit within half a second now of Asylum. And DRS coming up.
Yep, this is great news for Jinnit. I'm not sure. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to actually break away. If he does get a move done, it might be a whole different story with Asylum behind the DRS. And here comes Carson right on the tail of Spinninwin as well. I don't know if Jinnit's close enough yet. I don't think so. Maybe through the second part here. Looks like he got a better exit than Asylum, but it's not going to be long enough to make him move. So he's going to have to sit behind for another lap.
Oh, Jinnit. Oh, he got a little sideways. Oh, don't hit the... Oh. He might have damaged his wing there.
Yeah, he did. It's missing a huge piece.
That's
he
terrible.
Just lost it on his own, eh?
Yes, he did. Yeah, got a little loose. And probably tried to go into reverse, and didn't quite get there, and got back on throttle and drove right into the wall.
And the guys behind are going to have to be very careful moving through here, because Jinnit's going to be pretty clumsy with the lack of grip at the front.
And ornery. He's not going to be happy.
No. You can see his lack of pace in these tight little corners, though. It's just killing him. It's better for him, though, if he keeps these guys behind until he gets to the pit lane. It'll just help him fight back a little bit more later.
Absolutely.
Whoa, late move there from Sniper. Down the inside on Sam, I believe. Or, sorry, it wasn't Sam. It was Spot Up, and Spot Up's run into the back of Sniper, and that's allowed Nick and Gord through some... Really, Jinnit's wing damage just sort of put all these guys in a weird spot because there wasn't that, like, natural race rhythm. RC and Adri up into P3 and 4. So RC has got by Adri now, and he's up in the podium places.
So right now, let me just let me read Asylum's mind. No safety cars. No safety cars. Let's just go green the rest of the way, please.
The last thing he wants is Jinnit being within 10 seconds of him at this point. Man, it's unfortunate for Jinnit. But yeah, what happened there with Spot Up, Sniper and them just like being kind of caught out by being stuck behind a slow Jinnit was... It kind of disrupted the racing rhythm that they developed, and there was a couple little bumps there. So I'm hoping everybody in that chunk of cars got through clean without damage, because like they were having a nice little scrap for some good points. It'd be a shame if any of them were taken out of it just by some bad luck.
Yeah, so it was last Wednesday's Tier 2 race. Villeneuve had an incident on his own, damaged his wing. He continued on NP, whatever, last place, for another, I think, 2, 3, maybe even more laps with the damaged wing. And it worked out. Oh, safety car. Oh my, that's just...
He lost it on the final corner there. It looks like he lost it on the final turn on the lap, which is pretty unusual.
Now what do you do? What do you do for tires? Do you pit and jump onto the hards?
You have to pit for hards, yeah. You have to.
So
it's going to work out for the soft guys for sure. Villeneuve pitting, which is a good shout. Jinnit just pit, and he's pitting again.
Yeah, he probably wants to get back onto the mediums. Mediums will probably do 20 plus laps. That's my guess.
24 laps?
Maybe. Well, there'll be 2 or 3 under a safety car.
I don't know, man. I've done a soft to hard strategy here in the past, and it worked, but it was like 8 laps softs, like 25 hard, something like that. I don't know about 20 plus medium laps. That's going to be tough.
So Villeneuve on Wednesday had an incident, damaged his wing, stayed out, and last place, losing time, but stayed out it ended up helping him out because we had a safety car several laps afterwards. He ended up on track finishing second. However, a penalty pushed him, 2 penalties pushed him back to P4, I think it was. But anyhow, he was, you know, driven all the way to last place. So same with Jinnit here. Jinnit, very similar situation. He's back now with the leaders, basically, fresh tires. And we know Jinnit will go from P11 to P5 or 6 probably in the first lap and a half. So
look at this spin and win. All the way up to P3 now. So he had pit a couple laps ago, eh?
Yes, he had. His tires are 2 laps old.
Yeah, I wonder if he does have some bad strategy with the car because, I mean, look at the difference between him and Jinnit, right? Jinnit's pit twice, though, for what it's worth.
So, let's see. So Villeneuve, Private, and Air Nick all jumped onto the softs.
It is a curious choice.
Yeah.
I imagine that's banking on another safety car.
Or, you know, maybe they feel that maybe the tire wear is so bad that even the hards wouldn't get them to the finish. I don't know.
Yeah, that's possible. Might as well gonna pit again twice. You might as well just get on quick tires. Right?
Yeah, get on the softs and then go to the mediums after, or maybe even soft if you have them.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how Spinaway manages this. His tires are slightly older, probably not much. Not gonna be impactful until later on, but he's got that time penalty as well. So RC and Adri 4th and 5th, looking pretty poised for a good result today. Sam, Aaron, Nick on the soft side. Anyone on the softs, I'm suspect of actually finishing with a good result just because of what they're going to have to do to get there. But also Jinnit on those mediums, I mean, it's a tall order, but I've seen him do things like that in the past. So
this didn't actually... this hasn't turned out to be that bad for Asylum. He's got Carson in between him and his teammate, but I guess, you know, the major threat is Jinnit. Not to take anything away from anybody else in between them, but we know how Jinnit is, and regardless of where he is on track, at the end of the race, you always find him close battling for podium spot, if not the win. And but for Asylum, this is about as good as it could get. He's got somebody between him and his teammate. And so there's some defense behind him. If he can pull away in the first couple laps, maybe get out of DRS from Carson, he can continue on with this strategy that must still be in play now. I mean, I'm sure he was about ready to pit anyways.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that we're probably going racing at the end of this lap just based on where the cars are. They got a long way to go before they hit Sector 3, so...
Now, he's been Asylum, that is, hasn't raced in the league for this season, and I'm sure he's played at other times online, whatever, practice. Interested to see how he restarts this race. You know, you could be pretty sneaky, and the really good sneaky ones can pull themselves out of DRS pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be something that, obviously, like you said, he hasn't had an experience doing yet this season, but obviously those same principles apply over the last multiple years of the Formula One, so he's probably okay. Probably be able to get himself in a good cushy spot when the time comes to pull the trigger. Basically, if I'm at the front, I'm waiting until I know that safety car is in the pit lane. And then, like even right now, I'd be going even slower than Asylum's
I would,
going.
absolutely.
Just so I can punch it when I'm ready, and there's no chance that we're going to catch back up to that car.
I want everybody behind me packed up, bunched up, so that they can battle.
Yeah.
Let them battle.
He's punched it. Oh man, he did not get a good exit there.
Nope.
Carson is all over him.
Yeah.
Carson timed that well, and Asylum took a really funky line through there, and there was just no grip. And into turn 1, Carson's going for the lead. I think he's got a better run. Yeah, he had that tighter line. He got more grip. He had a bit of a snap getting the power down, though. So that has brought Asylum back into the mix, and he's got the inside. Still around the outside goes Carson.
Oh, it's going to be tough.
Room. Spin and Win coming to sneak into the picture now. Can he make a move?
Oh,
No, so status quo through the first few corners, although it looked really icy for Asylum. His heart must be pounding.
and so
Everybody on
another.
cold hards too, right?
Yes.
So
And for Asylum, you know, his first race back. So yeah, that's gonna. If he could bite his nails, he would be.
Mm-hmm.
And now he needs his
Absolutely.
teammate to give Carson issues, but Carson doesn't usually get. I mean, Carson is not somebody that I feel gets flustered.
Nick
That's just an
on a
impression.
charge here. He took a really nice lunge on Adri there. Had plenty of grip with those soft tires, so he's in a really good spot to do some damage right now. Nick, we'll see if he can get himself to the front of the field, maybe build the gap.
Love seeing Asylum coming out of the last turn, move way to the inside, way to the inside.
Nick has barreled into the side of RC there. I'm not really sure if RC turned in on him or if Nick was a little aggressive with the move, but Adri and RC now wheel to wheel. Nick is through. I can't imagine there's... it was more of a bump in the middle of a corner. I don't know if you'd call it a bump pass or RC turned in on him or whatever, but a very good chance that'll be penalized if it was a bump pass, but Nick can't consider letting him go. He needs to just storm ahead and take the penalty if it comes.
Yeah, so right now this is the time of movement for Nick because he's on the softs. They're 3 laps old. Of course, a couple of laps were under the safety car, but you know he's got to. If he wants to make this work, he's got to get by these 3 in front of him. Then hope for a safety car and have everybody pit. Boy, just I don't know how you go to the softs at this point in the race.
So I would say, like, Asylum clearly quicker than Carson. It was imperative that, oh, look at that. Carson moves to the inside to make a defense. Spinwin just stays on the racing line, goes deep into the braking zone, but can't get a move done. And now Nick is part of the picture here. Asylum, though, obviously the quicker driver, so it was super important that he kept Carson behind because that would have just really slowed him up, having to make a move again. But yeah, he did take some pretty... Yeah, he was sort of off the racing line on the restart, which is like you're the one that has the advantage with knowing when you're going to touch the power, so you should always be on the grippiest part of the track when you're trying to restart, right? Even that slight fraction of an advantage you have because you know when you're pushing the gas before the next guy does should be enough to build a gap. So taking funky lines through those corners isn't necessarily a great advantage when you're the lead car. If you're the secondary car, perhaps a good strategy, just because maybe you get lucky and you get on some grip before the guy in front does, and you can get a run. But it's not the greatest restart from Asylum, but he gets away with it.
Yeah, and what's going on behind him is exactly what he needs.
Exactly, yep.
These guys battling, and I don't think that Nick got a good enough jump out of that last turn. He's going for it.
He is.
He's going to have the grip. Oh, they touch a little. Nothing bad.
Yeah, kind of sold the dummy there. I mean, it looked like he was going to fall in line, and then he kind of pulled out and went for the move, which is probably not the safest thing. I mean, he is new to the league, so it's something, you know, we would obviously have to keep an eye on the driving standards. We're not 100% sure how Nick handles himself out on track, but we would like to see... I don't think he did anything wrong there, but if you're going to bump into the guy trying to make a move, you got to make sure that you can't make the move if you need to bump him to finish it, basically. That's something that you need to be considering. And like I said, with RC, there could have been a bump pass, right? So...
I'm riding on board with Jinnit here because, of course, he's up to P6 now. Didn't take too many laps. And I imagine Adri will be checked off the list coming down the front straight. Currently within DRS. Easily, can easily overtake by the time you get down that front straight.
Okay, so Nick going for spin and win here. He's got another crack at it. See if he can... He's going late again. Just hugs that inside line, and he's running Spin and Win to the edge of the road here. It's like Spin and Win hangs on to it though, and he's on the inside now. And Spin and Win returns the favor. So, and Nick's he's looking pretty racy. Yeah, no, he's looking really racy right now. He just needs to make sure he keeps it tidy. This is not a place for it.
Yeah, I'm glad he backed out. He knew it. He knew that was not the place, but he had to. He's keeping Spin and Win honest. He's making him keep an eye on his mirror.
He has to. He's defending in corners he shouldn't have to be defending in just because of those tires, right? The soft tires are so much more grip.
Absolutely.
Than the hards.
Yeah. That alone will make me keep my eyes in my rear view mirror, just knowing that the guy's on the faster tire.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if at Spin and Win at this point, he has a bit of a cushion behind. You know, this guy's made a couple, I wouldn't say aggressive moves, but certainly not, he's certainly not shy, we'll put it that way. And
yeah,
I wonder if, I'm not saying let him go, but like, if you don't fight him tooth and nail, he's going to go up and cause problems for the guys ahead of you if you let him go, right?
Yep.
That's my thought process.
And from my point of view, I think that what he was doing was absolutely race appropriate. He challenged. He did. Ooh! Oh no! Oh, he held on.
Did he have a snap there?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was to the outside. And he was to the outside of Spin, so that had no effect on Spin. But yeah, everything, I think that he did exactly what any racer would do, is try to make that move, and he did leave Spin plenty of room. However, I mean, you're going to drift wide a little bit, but he let up when he had to. He realized that wasn't going to happen, so to me, that's great racing.
Yeah, absolutely. He's making an impact in his first race with us, so that's good to see. And like I said, the little bump with RC there, we don't know how much of it was RC turning in and how much was Spin and Win, or Nick sort of drifting through the corner, maybe collected RC. I don't really know. It was a bad angle we had, but other than that, though, he's raced Spin and Win really hard for the last few laps, and there's been no contact or anything. So looks like he's fitting in pretty well here. Obviously, the tire advantage helps, but I think even if you didn't quite have the pace, that you should for Tier 1, you probably wouldn't be able to race with these guys even on a softer tire. You can see now he's been passed by Adri, so I think he's burned up those tires. He was racing so hard, and that's the other thing I was about to say with Spin and Win. I was saying, like, maybe you let this guy go, but at the same time, like, how long are his tires going to last if he's doing this, like, darting down this line, trying to take that line, you know, like, he's putting himself off the racing line constantly trying to make a move, so he's putting a lot more wear through those tires, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Here comes RC, or Jinnit, sorry. Jinnit looked like he was lining up Nick for a move, but backed out of it. Not a great place to make an overtake anyways. I imagine Jinnit gets by Nick down the next straight pretty easily here.
Yeah, boy, I would imagine that Jinnit is one of those drivers hoping for a safety car along with Nick, Private, and Villeneuve. You know, he's got 9-lap-old mediums right now, and there are still 16 laps to go.
Yeah, it does have a fair way to go.
Well, they've got 24-lap-old mediums. Boy, they will be junk at the end if they probably at 70, 80% at that point, if not even more.
Yeah. So Jinnit now, he's got a good run on Nick here. He can probably get it done under braking. He will. I mean, Jinnit on the brakes, is there anyone better? I mean, if he lines up a move, he rarely fails, right? Honestly, if you think about it, like, how often does he blow an overtake?
Yeah, he doesn't make mistakes, you know.
Other than that odd little half spin he had earlier, which is, I feel like,
terminal mistakes, I guess.
Yeah, like he will do that occasionally, but it won't. It's like once every 5 races he'll have a little half spin, and then a safety car kind of bails him out. And I wouldn't say he's like, you know, he probably should be winning this race right now, in all honesty. But if he can get up to P3 or P2 in the next laps, like, he's going to be in contention to possibly win again.
RC gets another penalty. Yeah,
I missed this, but Adri has got by Spin and Win as well, actually. I was just looking. Spin and Win.
Spin and Win's boxing.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's... wow, he's got some... I don't know what that fight... Oh, no, Spin and Win's retired.
Retiring, yeah.
His wing seems to be intact, so I don't know what happened.
I'm gonna guess his setup was awful. Just based on, like, how much pace he's losing. Because, I mean, he's one of the quickest guys here. There's no reason for him to be that slow, right? I think his tires are just taking a beating, and he's probably realized, like, it doesn't really matter what tire I pit to. Like, I'm not going to be able to hang.
Yeah,
I'm just losing ground. I agree. I don't think you should retire for that reason, but...
Right.
Like, I mean, he probably could have brought home a P5 still pretty easily, right? So...
Yeah, you never know it. You know, could be a crash. You know, safety car,
thing, like,
next lap or two, you never know.
No one behind that group of cars he was in was going, like, outrageously fast. It's not like he was going to get passed by the whole field or anything.
Right.
But I was wondering if he was thinking, like, he's on hard tires at that point, and they're starting to fall off to the point where he's overheating and they're blistering and he just can't manage them properly, and it might be a situation like that where he's just gone, you know what, I just can't get my tires under control today and I don't want to keep going, so I'm going to guess that's what it had something to do with, but again, I don't really like to see it.
I know.
I like, put it this way, look, T-Money's still out there. T-Money has had a miserable night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even with the safety cars bailing him out, he's still had spins and fallen behind again, and he's still out there pounding the pavement. I mean, really, if one more car drops out, T-Money gets a point.
Yep.
Right? Villeneuve doesn't count. One more car.
Provided it's not Villeneuve and bows out.
Right.
Now, Jennett's, man.
There it is.
And, oh, that's somebody in the pits. That's private.
Yeah, Chechu's retired, so now T-Money gets a point if he finishes 90%.
There you go.
It's that simple, folks. You keep racing, sometimes you get a point. And where would Zimaglis be if he didn't retire on lap 3? I mean, he was in arguably just as bad a shape as Jinnett. Now Jinnett's fighting for a podium.
Yep. Yeah.
Time and time again, we discuss this, and it proves itself, like, every single week. Just stay in the race.
Yeah. You wait all week. I mean, I keep saying that every time, too. You know, it's like, wait all week to race, and I know, trust me, I get as frustrated as anybody, and it's awful hard to deal with this at times. But you know what? You got to be thinking about what might be coming up. You never know. You never know. I play golf, and it's always, you hit a shitty shot, forget that one. It might be the next shot that you'll be talking about, you know. So there's always something to be racing for. You never know.
Yeah, I agree. It's frustrating. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know this is a track a lot of people don't like as well. I'm sure that probably plays some sort of a factor in it, but yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, we do a lot of work here, and I'd like to see people put in a, you know, like at least a 90% effort. You know, if it's not your greatest night, like just try to bring it home.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah, because not everybody can win. Not everybody can finish on the podium, but
no,
you know, there's fun. The fun is racing. Winning is fantastic, but the fun for me is getting into competitive battles on track, and you know, you can't lose sight of that.
Is there no pride? Is there no pride? Like, just to go back to Spin and Win, is there no pride in, like, wow, my car was dog shit. I had to fight tooth and nail to hang on to P6, and I'm glad I just got some points out of it. Like, no pride in that. Like, sometimes it's just not your night, and pulling a result out of your ass is one of the greatest things you can do.
Oh, absolutely. Game, right? I mean, think about Jinnett. Look at Jinnett. You know, he dropped way back, and now, like you said, he's up to P4. Now, are all hopes gone for him if we don't go to another green flag? If we don't get another safety car? Because I doubt he's going to be competitive in another 5 laps with those mediums. But
yeah, no, if I was ahead of Jinnit right now, I wouldn't be too concerned about him. Unless we do pit. Obviously, at that point, though, you're probably all going to pit.
So my point is that if you're Jinnit and you're like, well, you know what, I can't win this race, do you quit? No, you don't quit. You just keep trying.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it, man. It comes down at the end of the season sometimes. It comes down to, like, you know, a point or two can decide the title. And, like, for example, I'll be honest, like, T-Money's not winning the championship this year, but that point, you know, and you're having one of those miserable nights, like, say you're Zimaglis or Spin Win, and, you know, you just bring home two or 3 points, or 2 or 4 points or something, getting around P9, P8. You know, those points at the end of the season, if you do string together all the results that you do expect for yourself week in, week out, you put those things together, and that 4 points that you threw away on that night, you just parked the car.
Yep.
Might end up costing you something big at the end of the year. Right? It's just,
grab the points. Grab the points and race. Have fun, because that's what we're here for. It's not all about the win. It's about racing with guys you have faith in that they won't take you out. Race competitively and have a good time. That's the important thing. And if you're dropping out, understandably, there are times when you probably should. But I mean, we've had 2 tonight that kind of make us scratch our heads a little bit, like what happened, why. But
yeah, like,
you know,
what was the reason, or like where was your head at? Mind you, like, I don't think really either of these guys have been sort of habitual, like,
no,
it's not my night, I give up. Like, they're not really like that generally. So of course it's going to happen. I mean, it's happened in the past where there's been times where, like, you know, we've seen some guys who, like, never give up, just pull into the pits and park, and we're like, wow, they really just called it a night, eh? Like, you know what I mean? There's some guys that it happens to occasionally. Oh!
Was that a little love tap?
It was.
I don't know
what the hell. I don't know what happened there, because Adri looked like he was really under control, and Carson just kind of came across the front of his car, and Adri ran into him. I think Carson maybe had a wobble
careful,
in the corner.
guys. Oh my God. Talk about tight racing. Wow.
Yeah. Nick's out. He's lost it on the exit of turn 1. Probably another safety car, I'd imagine.
Well.
No. I think we're okay. Maybe okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there, but, like, Carson went deep in the corner. I was wondering if maybe he locked his rears, and Adri's line just kind of took him right into the back of Carson. It was definitely not intentional. Like, Adri looked like completely under control there. There was no, like, dive, bomb, or lunge or anything. He just was braking normally and ended up in the back of the Red Bull. Again, right there, Jennis run into the back of Carson. So there's something going on where, like, he should be stepping on the throttle and he's not quite on it at the same time as the other guys.
We might have Jinnit and P2 at the end of this front straight.
Yeah.
Look at him, cut to the inside right away. He's got
Adri.
He might have this.
Adri's
maybe not.
Doing everything he can to cover it off. Moves late at the end, and he squeezes.
Oh, 3
Jinnit hangs on. Does he? No. Adri hangs on.
Yeah, don't get greedy, Jinnit. Don't get greedy.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where he lost.
There was a little accordion effect there, eh? Like, just Jinnit kind of got too close to Adri, had to get out of it, and then Carson ended up in the back of Adri, or in the back of Jinnit. There you go, T-Money, picking up 2 points. Nice. Spitting facts, man.
And to be honest, sometimes it's better off if guys can't control their frustration to go ahead and drive into the pits and to retire. Better that than them taking their frustrations out on track. Not necessarily intentionally taking guys out, but maybe being a little more aggressive than they should and compromising their race and then maybe somebody else's. I still hate to see it.
Plus, they could pick up penalty points, and to go back to Zem, just with him being obviously frustrated at that part of the race. He's like, I'm just seeing red right now. I'm parking the car because I don't want to do anything dumb, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody did anything to Zimaglis. I don't think anybody screwed him over or anything. He maybe just felt hard done by because he finally had a good qualifying result.
Oh, geez, Carson to the...
I know.
These guys
stuff,
are
man.
incredible.
That is some incredible racing. 3 wide into turn 1. They all get through clean. There's a little bit of a bump there, but
Adri
no
going
shock. Yeah, Adri.
Look
Adri.
at these guys.
Oh!
Oh, no.
Jeez.
Stop the car. Yeah, back up. Oh, that's
and
too
Adri
bad.
Too. Oh.
Adri
Oh
and
my
Carson.
God! Did you see that? Spot up triples came around that corner and basically, I think his life flashed before his eyes. He
I
was
didn't
so
see it, but...
bloody close to hitting Adri there. So, I don't know how you look at that incident.
Maybe it
I don't
won't be
think Carson
reported
should
as
have
one.
been there, and I don't think Adri left him enough room either. So I don't really know who. You know what I mean? It's like Carson probably wasn't alongside far enough to warrant space, and then Adri probably should have left space. Like, it was so fringe that like neither of them should have done what they did. You know what I mean? It's like there's probably that little like gray area where we're like, yeah, you kind of should have got out of that, or from Adri's point of view, maybe he's like, well, I don't know why he was sitting there still, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they both hurt themselves pretty badly there. They gave away a podium potentially because now Sniper's gone through and he's up on P3 now. And the way those 3 were racing, it was always somebody was going to come out on the short end of it. Not, I guess the 2 of them did, but
yeah, that was still some great racing. Unfortunately, it just couldn't last, I guess. I didn't see anything egregious. I might have drifted away and looked someplace else, but
no, it's one of those things where, like, you know, they were so side by side through that whole sequence that who's to say who should be backing out of that corner at that point, right? But
right,
you got to think on a corner like that, it's pretty high speed. It's nearly flat out, and if you're on the inside and there's not much room, I mean, you probably best to get out of that one, right? So again, I'm not saying it was either guy's fault. It was all, what I saw live looked more like 2 guys racing hard and they came together more than like you did this wrong or the other person did that wrong, or like I don't really think you could pin the blame on.
No,
it might come out like that. It might be kind of like a 50-50 thing. Like, you should have left more room and you should have got out of that, but neither of you did. So you both kind of deal with the result of what happened and we move on, because
that results in no further action, NFA.
Exactly.
When it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's not to say that that is the case, but it just based on how hard they were racing and how clean they were keeping it up until that point, I don't think anybody did anything egregious. Sam, with a pretty ballsy move there, he's bumped Adri off the track and given Adri some more trouble, and Adri's retired.
Adri's going to...
Adri, come on, man.
I didn't...
That's a race ban, isn't it? Did we not race ban people for this?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I thought I was on board with Sam and Adri, but I guess I wasn't, because I didn't see what happened to Adri.
Well, Sam went for a late lunge down the inside. He bumped Adri, and Adri went deep. Like, Adri couldn't turn because he got bumped. So he went off, like, the runoff into the exit of T1, and then he rage quit. He rage quit DNF, so...
No, that sucks. Mm-hmm. So now T-Money has 4 points.
Mm-hmm. Gotta tell you, I'm a little pissed off. Right now.
Well,
I'm sure Adri is too. I'm not saying he doesn't have a right to be mad. He does.
Yeah.
Because that was clumsy. It was clumsy as hell, and he didn't deserve it. He's raced his ass off today, and he got bumped off the road again by, I don't think Carson really did anything wrong, again, like I said before, but I don't think Sam should have made that move. And ultimately, like, for the sequence to lead to a guy just DNFing on track, like, right after we... it's just, fuck. Like, come on. Seriously. Come on.
Well, on the brighter side, PWR Asylum is now just a little over 3 laps away from winning his first race back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's driven brilliant today. You can't take anything away from Asylum. He's done a excellent job, deserves the win. He fought off his teammate early, fought off Carson on the restart. And Jinnit sort of did himself in with that spin, but he's got himself back to P2, so sort of minimizing damage from that error. And yeah, Sniper snagging a sneaky podium there.
And at this point, it truly his race to lose. I mean, even if a safety car came out now, I just don't think that there's enough time. No, I shouldn't even say that. Yeah, he wants it to go green the rest of the way, but he doesn't. The great luxury for him now is he's under absolutely no threat. The guy behind him is on 22 lap old mediums. You just need to drive cautiously. You don't need to push it in any way, shape, or form. Just bring that car home, and you've got yourself a W.
Yeah.
And of course, Jinnit. Wow. Talk about coming back, right? That's why you don't quit. All of a sudden, he's scoring 18 points right now. Who's got the fastest lap?
That's a good question, actually. I don't know.
Nick in P11, so he's out. And they will not.
Because he didn't make it far enough for that to count, so... I don't know. Let's take a look. We'll see who else has the fastest lap besides him. It looks like Asylum does. 19-1. Yep, Asylum. So Asylum's going to pick up 26 points here.
So now, barring him crashing, and I'm going to knock on wood for that because I don't want anybody to crash, but he just can coast home. Let's see, where are our bigger interval? So Carson and Sam are still in a position to possibly move up a position. Other than that, everybody else is pretty well established in their position.
Yeah, Jinnit's made that strategy work. He is starting to come under pressure a little bit from Sniper, but I don't think he's going to be able to do enough in the next 2 laps to actually have an impact here. Let's see what Carson can do. Carson's right on Spot Up. Spot Up would get a P4 would be a hell of a result for him. He's going to be so desperate to hang on to this. Team money and time penalty doesn't matter. Still gets 4 points out of this. Good on him. Literally like the war of attrition. Team money just collecting 4 points by not retiring the car. Like he didn't drive very well at all and brings home 4 points. It's something to note for people in the future when you feel like you're just going to retire and call it a night.
Carson did not get the greatest of exits out of that last turn. That was pretty much his last real good chance of an overtake. Same with Sam.
Yeah, Sam too. The same problem. And that's the thing. This is the move Sam made on our Adri. I was gonna say you probably should pull over and let Adri go through, but Adri was so far off the road that it was kind of like, okay, well you can't just stop and wait 7 seconds for him or whatever at that point. So I'd imagine that Sam penalty or that Sam incident pretty much a cut and dry bump pass, like just sort of, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like the room is there, but like if you lunge into the braking zone under braking and the guy ahead maintains his racing line, you cannot fault the guy ahead, right?
Nope. And Asylum wins the race.
But here comes Carson with a late move on Spot Up. He's trying so hard to get that move done, and Spot Up holds on for dear life. He keeps the place. Spot Up, all he has to make a couple more turns. I think he's going to hang on to this. He fought that so hard, and kudos to Carson for sending it there. He tried his hardest to get that move done, but it was all clean, and Spot Up hangs on. Great battle with those two at the end. So Asylum, the race winner on his return, and that is a statement for everybody fighting for race wins in this tier and for the championship moving forward. Asylum is back, and he's quick, so want to watch out for him. Jinnit takes P2. Sniper snags a podium. Good result for Sniper finally. Spot up will take P4. Excellent result for him. Carson P5. Sam P6. RC P7. Villeneuve's 8th won't count, so we're going to give T Money P8. And Villeneuve will be... I don't know if Adri made it to... I don't know if Adri made it to...
90%?
90%, because he would probably get 2 points if he did, even though I don't want to give him 2 points because I'm kind of mad about him retiring on track. But by the rules, he should get 2 points if he did make 90%. So he might be able to. I don't know. Either way, like what he did is a pretty hefty penalty. I can't remember what our precedent was, but we did set one last season, if not this season already. I believe it was last season, though. So we have a sort of like black and white ruling on that, and it's just going to be what it is. So we'll deal with that as it comes. But either way, I mean, he picks up a couple points, even though he retired. Like, it's not that bad, but he definitely deserved better again. Like, it's the story of the season for a lot of these guys is they just keep getting tangled in things that aren't their fault, and kind of getting screwed out of things, right? And Adri obviously pissed off, and I don't blame him for being that way, because he had contact with Carson, and then he had contact with Sam, and I don't think Adri did anything wrong in either incident. The most with the Carson incident, the most you could argue is that he maybe should have left more room, but he was ahead, like he was the driver ahead. So where do you draw that line about when you should have to leave room? Anyways, let's run you through the order quickly. Asylum, Jinnit, Sniper, Spot Up, Carson, Sam, RC, Villeneuve, T-Money, your finishers, and then Adri P10. I don't know how many laps he completed. Actually, he got a DNF, not a +3 laps, so maybe he didn't get 90%. We'll have to do the math. Anyway, I feel like I'm going to have some work to do in this Discord now. So what happened to Zem? He didn't put his setup in, so his car was undrivable.
Zem. Damn you, Zem.
So who would you do for interviews? Asylum, Jinnit, and Sniper, but we can't get him.
So P4 was oh shoot.
Spot Up? Spot Up.
Was it?
Spot Up triples. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's give them 3 an invite. See if Jinnit shows up. I suppose we could invite Carson as well, but I'm not sure if he's might be a little grouchy about the race as well. We'll take him off the list for now. So Jinnit, Asylum.
Stuff?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure nobody's.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see him in the chat, so all right. Yeah, you're talking to the wrong guy here. If yep. All right, Janet. Congratulations for your perseverance. Oops. There we. Yeah. Yep. Congrats, Janet. Didn't look good. However, Bigga and I never counted you out. So, you correct me if I'm wrong. You went to the softs, right? After your first incident, when you no, you went to hard. I'm confusing with somebody else. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it didn't look good. I think you restarted in P11. So to finish on the podium in P2, great job. Great job sticking to it and fighting back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, and I was basically I was on board with you, and it seemed like once your car stopped, I surmised that you thought you were in reverse, stepped on the gas, and actually went forward into the wall, probably breaking your wing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. um, what condition were your tires in at the end of the race? Those mediums went 25 laps, I think. Oh, that's not too bad. Well, you didn't. Yeah, and you did a great job once you got into that comfort zone, managing your tires. You did well. You did well given the circumstances of your spin and whatnot. So kudos to you. Great job, P2. We'll move on now. Go to Spot Up, who just joined us. Spot Up, congratulations. Okay. See you, Janet. All right, Spot Up. Great result, buddy. Describe your race to us if you can. I'm sure you can. Yeah, so Spot Up your tire strategy. I forget. What tires did you start on, and what tires did you finish on? All right. Well, I'm only going to keep this brief simply because we're at least 15 minutes beyond where we normally would be. And but congratulations. Great race for you. Third place. You were third, right? It was fourth. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So. So great job. Glad you could join us, Spot Up. Always fun to watch you race. You bet. Okay, our race winner, PWR Asylum, a newbie. I don't think he's ever raced in this league before, has he, Bigger? No. Great job, Asylum. Congratulations, your first race back, and it was almost never in doubt. Take us, describe your race to us, how you felt and how things were going for you out there. Yeah, and really, after the first, let's see, you started P2. It took you, I think, until lap 3 when DRS came in, and you were able to take the lead over your teammate, and you pretty much held on to it from then on out. However, your race restart was very questionable. It was not a good race restart for you after that safety car. What did you do, and what would you do different next time? Yeah, there were innumerable. There were so many side-by-side battles going through turn 1, 2, 3, and into 4, and really, from what I saw, it was really, really good racing. Nobody was taking somebody out, so it was a lot of fun to see. However, that is very stressful when you're going through those turns with somebody beside you. How did you? Yeah, because you can almost make the outside pass work in turn 2 a lot of times, and certainly turn 1, if you can maintain your momentum and get good traction, that sets you up for being on the inside of turn 3 or turn 2. We saw a lot of that. But I'm going to wrap it up, Asylum, sorry. But great race. Go back and watch it. You did a fantastic job. As always, Big and I were thoroughly enjoying the battles that you guys put on out there. So thank you for that, and congratulations on your first race back and first podium and your first win.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Another Hungary race Wednesday for Tier 2, and next week we are on a calendar now. Off to Bahrain, so we're heading to the Middle East for Bahrain, and then that's Abu Dhabi the week after. So we'll catch you then, Monday 8 p.m. Yeah, and we'll be back for that round 7 Tier 1 next week on Monday. Cheers.
See you, Bigger.